Hi everyone, welcome back to the remote learning program. We are now at week 5 and we're back to doing Thursday's Child. So this week we are looking at characterizations or character analysis. The first thing I just want to go through with you is what your remote learning program looks like. So this is the front of it. We are at week 5. These are all of your teachers. Hopefully you recognise at least one of those people. Now we go down to look at the actual outline. It's a good idea to read through the outline properly and also look at the whole document so you know what's expected of you for the term or for the week, sorry. So the first area is up the top is the learning intention and the success criteria. The success criteria especially is quite important because it tells you what you need to actually do to show that you understand the task. All right, these are the pages here where you will find each of those things as well. So you only need information on these pages for session 1. So we'll go down to the first one. Okay, the page numbers are there, by the way. They're a little bit faint, but they are there. All right, back to session 1. So this is a repeat of your learning intention and success criteria. So today, the learning intention is to understand how to do a character analysis using detailed passages from Thursday's Child. Now, to show that you have been successful, you will read through the passages provided and use this information to form a character analysis of Tin, who is a character from Thursday's Child. You will then list Tin's character traits and challenges in addition to his growth as a character. So the main part of this is you start to do the engage, which is where all of the passages are that you should read through to help you with your character analysis. Now, some of you will have read the book. Some of you will have read a lot of the book. So you can also use your knowledge from the book to do your character analysis. Don't feel that you are just stuck with these passages. We have put these in case people haven't brought the book home. And we know that a lot of people are yet to finish the book. Okay, so once you've read through this carefully, you then do the application task. You're obviously doing task 1 now because you're currently watching this clip, and then you go down to the character table below and start to fill in the things that you know about Tin. So Tin's problem, what is Tin's problem? What are the challenges that Tin faces? I would say one of them is I think that Tin wants to be safe. I think that Tin wants to feel safe. I think that Tin wants to really feel safe and secure. But I also think that Tin still wants to remain part of the family. I think he's constantly torn with living this life underground and also being part of the family. I think Tin also brings his family a lot of pain when the shanty collapses because of Tin's borrowing. So Tin causes the shanty to collapse. Another thing that the effect of Tin causing the shanty to collapse was Dar banished Tin really from the family. Dar had had enough and he banished Tin away and told him never to come back. Okay, so you're just going to start listing all the challenges that Tin comes across in his life. Okay, I've only mentioned a few. There's quite a few more that you could mention there. What do we know about Tin? Tin is the second youngest child. Hang on. Tin is the second youngest son. of Court and Thora, who are the parents. Tin became stuck in a mudslide. Whoopsie doozies, hang on. Tin became stuck in a mudslide and dug his way out. So you are just going to list, you don't need to necessarily list what he physically looks like, but you're just going to list all the things that you know about Tin so far. Okay, Tin likes to dig, blah, blah, blah. All right, how does Tin solve the problem? In this area, you are responding to some of these things. So Tin becomes a subterranean character. Subterranean figure. He becomes a subterranean figure in order to feel safe. So he sort of basically lives underground in order to feel safe. And then you can keep on like going up here and responding to how you think he solves these problems. There's a big thing that Tin does at the end of the story, right at the end. I'm not going to give it away. If you've read it, you know exactly what I mean. I would put that in here, the main thing that Tin does to solve the problem. He also does something with Audrey. In some way, he protects Audrey. That could probably go in here too, because that shows us that Tin is still connected to the family and still feels very loyal towards members in the family. Okay. How does Tin change over time? You could talk about his behaviours that change over time, the way that he physically changes in this section, and you could talk about the way that his behaviour changes too. So you could talk about what happens to his skin and his eyes. He grows, his nails become longer. He sort of takes on those animalistic attributes, and he starts to become described as an animal as well. The protagonist, Harper, changes the way that she describes him and uses a lot of animal imagery. So I think she uses the word paws. She talks a lot about scratching, that sort of thing, and she does talk about his hair a bit. I think he stops wearing clothes from memory, and he gradually goes from living in the house to over time in stages he ends up living underground. Tin's character traits, so you could talk about loyalty, you could talk about like he's a listener. He's very aware of what's going on, even though he isn't in the family. So he's an observer and he's a listener. You could talk about his digging, that sort of thing. I think that Tin is very intuitive, and I would say that Tin is really to me, Tin is a mystical creature. So does Tin really exist? You know, that's probably a really good question to ask. I think that Tin's the magical element of the magical realism in this book. So everything else sort of seems pretty straightforward, but the Tin character raises a lot of questions for us and leaves us wondering about why the family engage with him in the way that they do and his role within the family. So I think Tin's very important in that way. Once you fill this out, and feel free to also come back to this. You might find as you're doing the other characters, you want to come back and fill a few more things out. I think that Tin, something that we know about Tin is I think that Tin has a really special bond with Harper. That's something that I've been thinking about quite a lot, actually. Harper seems to really understand Tin. Tin was also Dar's favourite before the shanty collapsed. That sort of thing. Okay. Oops, I haven't used a capital. Very bad. Dar's favourite. Oops. There we go. That's better. All right. Right. Once you've done that, then you go back up here and you just need to write a short paragraph to summarize who you think Tin is. If you finished early, please write a haiku poem. Just look at how they're done here. I think you'd have a lot of fun with Tin and haiku. I think it could be quite a beautiful poem that you'd end up with. And then there's just a last question here. What qualities does Tin have that make him seem like something other than a human? All right, this is the next session, which is Harper. So if you have your book with you, read up on Harper by all means. Harper's quite a tricky one because she's actually the observer. So Harper's an interesting one to look at. Anyway, have fun with that. And please ask your teachers any questions if you're not sure of what to do just on the post page. Good luck.